The injury hits just keep on coming. Unfortunate news out of Philadelphia now losing Jared McCain. How long will he be out? I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe right here to the channel. Turn on those notifications as well. Plus, how does this loss factor in with the Quentin Grimes restricted free agency situation? I think that's an interesting subplot to all of this as well. But take a look at this. Again, unfortunate news for a 76ers side that was decimated last year by injuries. Joel Embiid has lost a lot of weight. We've seen that. Zion Williamson, of course, and Luka Doncic, other players that have dropped considerable weight. But the hope being that Joel Embiid can play a good chunk of the season, that the Sixers can bounce back. And now, before we've even had media day, before we've even had training camp, any of this kind of stuff going on, we now have Jared McCain out. Philadelphia 76ers guard Jared McCain, according to Tim Bontemps, suffered a UCL tear in his right thumb during a workout today. He and the team are working with specialists to decide how they will proceed tomorrow. Philadelphia has their media day tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get some more news on exactly how they're going to proceed. I'm going to get into both options here and what this is going to mean for McCain. He did average 15.3 points per game across 23 games last season. There was a point where Jared McCain was the favorite to win Rookie of the Year last year. And you have to wonder if he was lost for the season due to a meniscus tear in December, but you have to wonder, if there's no Jared McCain, does that put more on Tyrese Maxey for the 76ers? Does that lead to other injuries across their roster because other guys have to bear a heavier burden now? For a team that was absolutely destroyed last season by injuries, that went into the season thinking they were a title contender, wound up being anything but. Again, crushed by injuries last year. This is absolutely terrible news for a very talented young player. Tyrese Maxey is going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting now in that backcourt. When we talk about how long could Jared McCain be out, well, we are certainly talking about the beginning of the regular season and missing that. Now, might he be back, say, I don't know, mid-November-ish? Maybe we could get to that point, maybe even beginning of November. According to, I'm not a doctor, just doing a quick Google search here. In terms of a UCL tear, depends on the severity of the injury, and that's where the 76ers talking to specialists to decide how to proceed will matter. But recovery time, 4 to 6 weeks. So at the best, let's say it's 4 weeks, and then you need part of a week, maybe a full week to kind of ramp up from there and get used to it, comfortable, all that kind of stuff. Okay, well, that would still cause him to miss, probably at least the first week of the regular season, if not maybe a little bit more. So we're talking about the beginning of the regular season, him being out at best. 6 weeks, all right, we're end of September now, so now we're getting into, deeper into November. Maybe is it around Thanksgiving or so, a little bit before that, actually, that McCain comes back. But then what if he needs surgery? That is what you don't want to hear, Sixers fans, or anybody else really, a very talented young player. You want to see him out there on the court. Surgery, if it's necessary, a more severe tear, 8 to 12 weeks to recover. So we could be looking at a 3-month recovery. Again, it's the end of September now. We're talking about maybe not just seeing Jared McCain back on the court until 2026. We're talking about January, right? That's what we could be looking at if surgery is required for Jared McCain. And again, this is why this is such a difficult blow for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what this might mean for Quentin Grimes now in that backcourt, though. Can he step into that role? And then what does that mean for his restricted free agency? Let's get to that next. Over on Sleeper, I'm taking Kyler Murray to get more than 0.5 passing yards because, of course, thank you for the free square there. Malik Neighbors, I'm going to say new quarterback Jackson Dart hyper targets him and he finds his way into the end zone. And Dak Prescott, tough sledding in Dallas. No CeeDee Lamb, 242.5 passing yards. I'm going to say Dak does not get there. If you agree with me, you disagree, turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players with more stats than any other daily fantasy app. Choose 2 or more of your favorite players from pregame or live. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money if your picks win. Use promo code Bulletin, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. By the way, I also want to throw in news just came out. The Pacers are now releasing after just signing Monte Morris after he suffered a calf injury. Man, what is going? I say it every year, but flip the injury slider off. Turn the injuries up. We had Tyler Hero, Fred VanVleet's out for the year. Now we've got this situation with Jared McCain. We've got Monte Morris. We get no more. We haven't even started the season. Training camps, all of that. And we're already getting just hammered by injuries. All right. So Jared McCain, almost certainly we are at the very least talking about the beginning of the regular season. We could be talking about not seeing him play until January of 2026. That is in the range of possible outcomes. Obviously, the hope is that he will be back as quickly as possible. Ideally, he misses a week or two of the regular season, then he's back. That would be phenomenal. If not, though, I do wonder if this is not looking good for Jared McCain right now. Donnie and I talked about it yesterday, the situation with Quentin Grimes, who can certainly operate in the Sixers backcourt, put up some big numbers in a small sample size with the 76ers last year, but was still very productive. 28 games played last season, 22 points, 5 boards, 4.5 assists, and 1.5 steals as a two guard in that backcourt for the 76ers. So the Sixers have reportedly been a little bit reluctant to give Quentin Grimes the long-term deal that he wants, to the point where now it's sounding more and more likely, and Shams Charania talked about this yesterday, that he's going to wind up signing the qualifying offer and just be on a one-year deal, or potentially the Sixers could give him a larger one-year deal in exchange for him waiving the no-trade clause that would be inherent with that. If he just picks up the qualifying offer, boom, instant no-trade clause, which doesn't mean that he can't be traded, just means he has to give permission to be traded to any particular team. But perhaps the Sixers could effectively buy him out of that no-trade clause by, instead of him playing for, I believe it's $8.7 million or so is the qualifying offer, they could give him $13 million or something for the season and say, here's a one-year deal, $13 million, and but there is no trade. You have to waive the no trade clause that comes inherent with it. That could be a path to go down. But now, though, with McCain hurt, and if the surgical path is the one we go down, and that's the one where maybe we don't see him until January, does that change things here for Quentin Grimes, who now becomes more of a necessity for the Sixers this season? You know, VJ Edgecombe, his presence, I think, is part of the conversation with Grimes and why the Sixers are maybe on top of the amount of money they've committed to Joel Embiid and Paul George. But the presence of VJ Edgecombe, who the Sixers drafted this year, is part of, I think, the conversation for why they are not going all in and doing everything they can to retain long-term Quentin Grimes. But if the belief is, and again, specialists will weigh in on this, but if the belief is that Jared McCain may not play until January, does that change the Sixers' thinking in regards to Quentin Grimes? Does it make him more of a necessity? And then do they come back to the table and negotiate? They've got until October 1st. That's when the qualifying offer will expire. Quentin Grimes has until then to sign that deal. So the clock is ticking here. It's September 25th as I'm recording this. But I do wonder, unfortunate situation for Jared McCain, does this change the dynamic for Quentin Grimes, and does this get a deal done with the Sixers, because they don't want to go into the season with the two guard spot in question? They do give a bigger role to Quentin Grimes and decide, you know what, we're going to try to commit long term. Or do they just say, you know what, worst case, Jared McCain, we'll see you in January, Quentin Grimes, one way or another, we'll have you on a one-year deal, and off we go? That's probably where this goes. That would be my best guess, is that it doesn't change too much. But knowing that you're going to have to ask Quentin Grimes to bear a heavier burden now with Jared McCain out for at least the beginning of the season, maybe longer, I do wonder if that changes the dynamic of those conversations at all. But everybody give me your thoughts. Again, the most important thing here, unfortunate injury already for a very talented young player, for a team that simply does not need another injury-plagued season. Hopefully, I don't have to do too many more of these injury updates for players around the NBA. It's already been way too much. So Jared McCain, fingers crossed, hopefully we get good news as he's working with specialists to decide whether or not he's going to need surgery on that torn UCL. Again, give me your thoughts in the comment section down below, everybody. Till next time, see ya and stay safe.